Hello everybody, my name is Sam and welcome back to English Sponge. Today we have the first part of my new mini-series telling you guys about my trip to Madagascar. If you love to travel and you want to learn some new travel vocabulary, then this is definitely the series for you. When I was 18 years old, my two best friends and I went on a trip to Madagascar. Yes, the island of Madagascar, the one from the movies. Our school ran a project called World Challenge. Now, World Challenge was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It was a 3-week adventure to a faraway country with all of your school friends. You would travel around the country, trekking, hiking, camping, staying in hostels and villages, really living life to the fullest. The year that I went, my school ran the trip to Madagascar for 23 days. So let me introduce you to Max and Josh. Here's me. Max and Josh were my two best friends at school. Josh and I had known each other since the start of secondary school. Since the first day of secondary school, we became friends. Max and I had known each other for a little bit longer. Max and I have known each other for a long time because we played in the same football club. Different teams, but in the same club. Max and I only became close friends in the last 2 years of school. The three of us made a great trio. Some even called us the Three Musketeers. As you can see from the smiles on all of our faces, we always had an amazing time together. We were inseparable. And it's still true to this day. Whenever I see Max and Josh, I always am really happy. So, as you can see from my big backpack, we were ready to go. The group gathered at the airport a few hours before our flight, and we quickly discovered that we had a problem. One of our group members was given a big bag like this, full of group supplies to bring with her to the airport. She did not bring the bag to the airport because she said, and I'm quoting here, she thought it was a gift. Yes, you heard that right. She thought the bag full of group supplies was a gift to her. Her dad ran as fast as he could out of the airport and drove down the motorway super quickly. He went back home, got the bag of supplies, and luckily got back to the airport in time. Because if he didn't, I don't know what we would have done. So first we flew over to Turkey, where we had a layover. A layover is when you change airplanes at the airport. You get off one flight, stop off at the airport for a little bit, and then get on another flight. The flight to Turkey was about 4 hours long, and as we were leaving the plane, another member of the group made a big mistake. He said, "Oh no, I left my phone on the plane." He quickly ran back to the plane, managed to get back on board to take his phone. He was very lucky. But as you could see, this was not a promising start for this group of people. Next, we got on a flight to Mauritius after our layover, and then from Mauritius, it was a short third flight over to Madagascar. We had arrived. We arrived into Madagascar exhausted but really excited. Some further delays at immigration meant that our total journey time was over 24 hours. Took a really long time to get there. After we got through immigration, we were all super excited, but the reality of our situation started to set in very quickly. Our first task in Madagascar was to change or to convert our money. We had to convert all of our money for the entire trip because when we were in the country, there would not be another opportunity. We had to convert all of the group's money and all of our personal money, which meant we were withdrawing some really large sums of cash. This was a problem because we, as a group of mainly white people, already stood out like a sore thumb. To stand out like a sore thumb means you were really obvious. In one place, everybody is looking at you because you're very obvious. Max and I were tasked with standing guard over the bags. It was our responsibility to look after everybody's stuff. We noticed a man slip some money to a security guard, either a tip or a little bribe. The man kept looking over at us and kept monitoring our bags. Max and I were getting quite nervous, especially because he kept looking at us. Thankfully, we got all of our money and the group left the airport. We found our transportation and headed to the first hostel without any drama, but it was a really worrying couple of minutes for sure. So, as you can see, we stayed at a really nice hostel on our first night in the capital, Antananarivo. We were all super tired, but we were buzzing. We were so happy and excited that we'd finally arrived. We were sat around the table having a really lovely meal. Now, look here. It might look like a normal steak, right? But it's not. This is zebu. Now, in Madagascar, the main source of meat that they eat is not cow, it's zebu. A zebu is very similar to a cow. It looks very much like a cow, but it has horns and a hump a little bit like a camel. Zebu is really, really tasty. It does taste a lot like beef. However, it's slightly more fatty and has a slightly sweeter flavour than regular beef. If you get the chance to try it, 10 out of 10, Sam recommends. After dinner, we were obviously all exhausted after a very long time travelling, so we headed up to bed to get a good night's rest before the next day. The next few days we spent travelling along the roads of Madagascar. We spent it travelling in this really small and cramped bus. Look, there was barely any space in between us. And look at these chairs as well. Super uncomfortable, not the place you want to spend multiple days in, but it is what it is. I had a lot of fun on the first bus journey. Yes, it was long. Yes, it was boring, but we spent the time talking amongst each other, making jokes, and we had some beautiful views out of the window as well. Because the roads in Madagascar are quite badly damaged, it takes forever. It takes a really long time to get to your destination. So, yeah, I think it took us about 2 to 3 days to make it. Whilst we were travelling, it was really cool to see how the climate and the landscape changed as we made our way down the country. Here is a picture from our first day, and you can see it's a very vast, open region, very vast and open. We have some hills in the background, but the main thing is it's very dry. It doesn't receive very much rain. As we moved further south, the country started to get a lot more tropical, a lot more green and a lot wetter as well. All of it was incredibly beautiful, as this photo and this video of a waterfall will show you. After even more long days of travelling, we finally made it to our first destination. We arrived in the small town of Ranomafana. Ranomafana is a small town right in the center of the jungle. All around it, you can see hills like this one with trees, especially on this side. On this side, it was very, very hilly. It was a small town with some shops selling vegetables. There's a big village square as well. The town had a really nice atmosphere. There was a real sense of hustle and bustle. Everyone was working to try and put food on the table. Yeah, we quickly went and checked in to our hostel upon arrival, and that is where the adventure really begins. Thank you guys so much for watching the first part of my new Madagascar series. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like on it. Comment down below as well if you learn any new vocabulary. I'd love to hear which words were new for you. And if you liked it, make sure to subscribe to English Sponge as well, so you do not miss part 2 and part 3 of this mini-series. They are going to be really good. That's it from me. Thank you once again for watching the video. I will see you all next time. See ya.
If you want more videos like this, go to EnglishSponge.com. On the website, you can find videos from many different teachers. You can choose which level you want. A1 beginner, A2 beginner, B1 intermediate, or B2 upper intermediate. You can choose which accent you want to listen to. American, British, Australian, and also other accents. You can choose which topic you want to listen to, and you can choose which grammar point you want to focus on. The website will track your time, so you can see how many minutes you have listened to comprehensible input today, yesterday, and for the whole month. So go to EnglishSponge.com. The link is in the description of the video.